Yo, yo, yo. Yes, chat. Yes. 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 Yes, 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 yes. Started your arms tonight. Don't want nobody bring you back to life. I just died. Your arms tonight. Hey, I just died in your arms tonight. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. Don't want nobody bring you back to life. I just died in your arms tonight. Hey. What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? Sorry. Bad day to be strapping on. Anyways, happy Sunday. Like to say that, by the way. Happy Sunday. Obviously, we'll have to appreciate the days we're here. So, happy Sunday. Happy every day, but happy Sunday because today is Sunday. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are watching a video, right? Sorry. We're watching a video on how to on how to stay consistent. Yeah, as you can see, that sentence wasn't consistent. So, the video is titled I added a few to be, 100% sure. All right. So, we've got three. Why you? We'll watch two. We'll watch two of them. Okay, and then I'll go through my schedule because I need to figure that out for the week. So,
You don't want to get behind.
oh, who's this young man? I just died in your arms tonight.
episode is presented to you in the form of
This video is presented to you in the form of an audiobook. Do you still want to watch it?
an audiobook. Have you ever made a
Oh,
plan
okay.
to turn your life around? You tell yourself, tomorrow I'm going to wake up early, hit the gym, get my work done, and be super
I've done this, and then I woke up that next day. I sat on this very seat and played Marvel Rivals, Apex Legends, and all the sorts.
productive. You feel confident about it, like you're finally going to make progress and be consistent with it. But then tomorrow arrives. And when you wake up, you feel like a completely different person.
Yes.
The person who made those plans the day before doesn't seem to exist anymore. Instead, you find yourself avoiding everything you said you were going to do. If this sounds familiar, don't worry. You're not broken and you're not lazy. The real issue isn't about failing to execute your plan, it's about misunderstanding how your mind works. In today's episode, we're going to explore why consistency is so difficult
Interesting.
and how the real problem isn't discipline, motivation, or willpower.
So what's the issue?
The real issue is that you're not the same person every day. In fact, you're constantly changing, and the version of you that made the plan yesterday might not be the one who shows up today. Understanding this is the key to making sustainable change in your life. Think about who you were 5 years ago. How did you dress? What kind of music did you listen to? What goals did you have? Now, compare that version of you to who you are today. You're probably a completely different person, right? Your mindset, your priorities, the way you approach life, it's all changed. But here's the interesting part. That same level of change happens every single day. It's just that we don't notice it because the changes are very subtle.
Okay.
We assume we are one consistent person, but in reality, we are a collection of different versions of ourselves, gradually evolving with each passing day. For example, one day, you might wake up as the version of yourself who's motivated, eager to exercise, and tackle your to do list. The next day, however, you might wake up feeling like you don't want to do anything.
So
And
my
yet,
question is,
we expect these different versions of ourselves to act the same way every day. We expect them to have the same priorities, the same discipline, and the same goals. That's where things go wrong. We're not the same person every day, so no wonder consistency feels so hard. The key is to stop thinking of your life as a solo mission and start seeing it more like a team relay.
Okay.
Imagine you're playing a video game, but instead of controlling your character the whole time, a new player takes over every 5 minutes. Each version of you is just one player in the sequence. Now think about it. If the player before you slacked off, wasted resources, or ignored the mission, you'd spawn into a mess. You'd be frustrated because you'd have to clean up their mistakes before you could make any progress of your own.
Okay.
We often think of consistency as doing the same thing every single day, showing up and sticking to the plan. But in real life, consistency looks a little different. It's more like a team effort between the you from today and the you from tomorrow. The you from today is the one playing the game right now, but the you from tomorrow is next in line.
Okay.
If you spend the day procrastinating and avoiding what matters, the version of you
Oh.
from tomorrow will wake up to chaos and no motivation to begin. The cycle
Oh.
repeats and the game just gets harder.
Okay.
But if the you from today sets things up and makes good decisions, then the you from tomorrow wakes up with momentum. This is what real consistency looks like. It's not about being perfect.
All right, so I get what he's trying to say. What he's trying to say is that your consistency isn't about every single day trying to do something. Your consistency is every single day. Whatever you're planning tomorrow, you do it today. Because you know what they say. You never know if there will be a tomorrow. Or whatever Wu said.
Or forcing yourself to stay the same every day. It's about recognizing that you're a temporary player in the game, and your job is to set up the next version of yourself for success.
I see.
But why do we keep making things harder for our future selves? The answer lies in how our brains are wired.
Let me put this down.
There's a psychological bias called future discounting, our tendency to favor instant gratification over long-term benefit. This is why you'll choose to eat junk food today,
Yep.
even though you know it'll make you feel bad tomorrow.
Yep.
It's why you stay up late scrolling on your phone, even though you're fully aware that you'll regret it in the morning.
Yep.
This isn't about being undisciplined. It's about the way our brains operate. Your brain literally sees the you from tomorrow as a stranger. For example, if I asked you to choose between $100 now or $200 a year from now, most people would take the $100. Even though waiting could give you more, your brain craves immediate gratification.
I see. But okay.
Historically, our ancestors relied on quick rewards for survival. Getting food now was more important than waiting for a larger reward.
Okay.
But in modern life, this bias works against us. It makes us sabotage our future selves. The short-term rewards we're chasing today are often the very things that make life harder tomorrow. So, how do we fix this? How do we get past this natural bias and start making decisions that benefit the future version of you? Most people struggle with consistency because they think progress is an all or nothing game.
Okay.
They think if they can't make huge strides every day, then they're failing. But that's not how progress works.
Right.
Instead of rushing through life like it's a race, think of it more like a video game with save points. You don't have to complete everything in one go. You just need to make it to the next checkpoint.
Right.
This works because when you play a game, you're not constantly worried about finishing everything at once. Your focus is on reaching the next checkpoint, one step at a time. And once you hit that checkpoint, your progress is saved. Even if you log off or take a break, you don't lose all your progress. You just pick up where you left off every time you turn on the game. Life works the same way. Instead of pressuring yourself to be perfect every day, shift your focus to saving your progress so that the version of you from tomorrow doesn't start from scratch. If you're struggling with productivity, don't try to finish everything at once. Just complete one small task, something the next version of you can build on.
I don't know why I've never thought like that. I just thought to finish whatever I'm doing one time, so I can just move on. But doing it bit by bit might make life, a little bit easier.
If you're too tired to work out, don't skip it entirely.
Why is it?
How about go for a 10-minute ad? How about you go? Okay.
Go for a 10-minute walk or do a single set. Even a small effort builds momentum for tomorrow.
Yes.
If you don't feel like cleaning the house, instead of letting it pile up, clean just one room or one area. The version of you from tomorrow will have one less mess to deal with.
I like this mindset because it's like, obviously every single day the word consistency we struggle for a reason, right? So it's not like every single day you're gonna be the same person. Not every single day you're gonna want to do the same things that you wanted to do the day before, right? So, oh, just interrupted me. So it's I kind of am I bugging or I hear birds? Don't tell me it's my wallpaper. It's not. Yo, I can hear birds. I think it is my wallpaper. Anyways,
The key is to make sure every version
hold on. No. We gotta figure this out. I found the issue, but I do not know how to fix it. It says my Roblox is on. My Roblox ain't even open. Hold on, we need to order for it. Hold on. I've never ever seen that ever happen to me before. Okay, my Roblox is apparently open and I can't close it. Let me run to Task Manager. Give me a second, chat. I just need to see the source. Because why is it just casually running in my background? Where is it? I can't even find it, chat. Well, we muted it, so it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna stress too much about that. Anyways,
of you inherits a slightly better setup than the last. Some days, you'll make significant progress. Other days, your goal is simply to get a small win. Either way, as long as you keep saving your progress, you're always moving forward.
I see.
Consistency is about continuity, not perfection. Now, some of you might be thinking, all right, I get it. I need to set up the future version of myself for success. But honestly, I don't even care about that version. This is where a lot of people struggle
I wasn't
with
gonna say that.
consistency. It's not because you lack motivation. It's not because you're lazy. It's because, deep down, you don't see yourself as someone worth investing in. Think about it. We make sacrifices for the people we care about. If your best friend needed help, you'd be there for them.
Would
If
I?
a family member needed support, you'd try to make their life easier.
Would I?
If you had a pet to take care of, you'd make sure they're fed,
And this is why I don't have a child. I mean a pet.
comfortable, and safe. But what happens when you don't actually care about yourself? You don't feel like your future self deserves the effort.
Okay.
If you love yourself, you make sure your future self has a good life. If you don't love yourself, you sabotage your future because you simply don't care. Additionally, most people are way harsher on themselves than they would ever be to another person. If your friend was struggling in life, you'd probably say,
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. Just do one small thing and keep going.
But when you struggle, what do you say? Wow, I'm so lazy. I'll never get my life together. What's wrong with me? That negative self-talk, it's a huge reason why consistency feels so hard. Because, honestly, why would you take care of someone you don't like? Here's a mindset shift that can immediately make consistency easier. Imagine future you as a separate person. Treat them like a best friend or a little sibling? Would you sabotage their life, or would you make sure they had an easier time? The more you see future you as a person worth helping, the easier consistency becomes. The final takeaway from today's episode is stop trying to be consistent as one person.
Okay.
Start thinking of life as a series of different players, passing the baton forward. The only thing you need to focus on is setting up future you for an easier start. Stop viewing life as a constant grind towards some ultimate goal. Instead, treat it like a relay race, where each version of you is simply handing things off. And if each version of you does their part just a little bit better, over time, you'll build real, effortless consistency. So, before we end this, I'd like to ask you guys a quick question. What's one thing you can do today to make life easier for future you? Drop your answer in the comments. I want to hear what's
One thing for me, I don't even know. Edit more, probably. Edit more's a good one. It's another 9-minute video I found, but yeah, that's a good video. That's good vids. I just know.
Would say that consistency is everything, and they're right. It's
You know what? Let's see if he says the same thing.
literally one of the most important things that you can develop if you want to achieve success. There's this
Okay.
famous quote that Rome wasn't built in a day. It was built over months, weeks, decades really, of people contributing to building something amazing. I used to be incredibly inconsistent, and people contributing to
I'm pretty no troll. No, zero troll. I'm pretty sure I've been here. No, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't.
building something amazing.
Bugging,
I used to
bugging.
be incredibly inconsistent and rely on like these spurts of motivation, or let's be honest, fear, to make sure I meet deadlines. Over the past 6 years, I've been building my business here on YouTube, and I noticed that I've been very consistent. I wake up every single day, refreshed, energized, ready to work, ready to make videos, and I truly believe that being consistent is what allowed us to grow this YouTube channel to over 1 million subscribers
Hey,
in 2
congrats,
years
Koi.
and build a sustainable and profitable business on the back end of it. Now, both my brother and I have been able to leave our jobs as medical doctors to go all in on here. So in this video, I want to share the system that I discovered for being more consistent, so that whatever you're doing right now, whether you want to be more consistent for work, for school, for studying, for going to the gym, for building your business, you have a clear framework to follow and get back on track. But in order for the system to work, you need to understand and identify one very important thing. What is your goal? I can't remember how many times
Okay.
in the past I have said to myself, I need to be more consistent with studying, or with going to the gym, or with creating content. But those are very emotional statements. Just because you feel bad and like you feel like you need to do something doesn't mean that's the best thing you should do. Let me explain.
Okay.
First of all, you're going to discover for yourself why. Why do you want to be more consistent? And the second thing you're going to figure out is how. How consistent do you need to be? So let's just do an example here. There are 2 students, and they both want to be more consistent with studying for exams. One student is a pre-med, and they have a grand goal of getting into the top medical school. And they need to get like a 520 on the MCAT, which
Damn.
is incredibly good, like 99 percentile. Student number 2 is, let's say they are a social studies major, and their goal is to not fail.
Okay, very simple
Both
goal.
of them have a goal of being more consistent, but for very different reasons. The level of consistency that this student over here needs to have compared to this student is very, very different. So
Okay.
that's why it's so important. You need to know what your goal is, so you know why you need to be more consistent, so that we can figure out how consistent do we need to be. For example, growing on YouTube. A lot of people say that in order to grow on YouTube, you need to be more consistent, which I totally agree with. So the first thing I would ask is, why do I want to grow on YouTube? For me, I wanted to build a business so I can achieve financial freedom and self-reliance for myself, and then just get to make art for a living. And so having that
enough.
as a goal, then the how I'm gonna get there is publish weekly videos. If my goal for starting a YouTube channel was just as a side project and passion project, then the how doesn't really matter. I don't have to be that consistent with it. Setting a goal is the #1 most important thing you need to do to
What's
achieve
that?
consistency. But the next step here is going to determine whether or not we actually achieve that goal. So let's draw this out. This is you right now. You are at A, you are inconsistent, and your goal is to get to B. This is someone who is very consistent,
Okay.
and they are happy. This is goal, this is current. And most people think they set a goal and they should just run after it. Not the best move yet. And here's why. Usually it starts off with a period of high motivation. You're like, oh yeah, I'm doing great. This is going great. And really quickly you start to fizzle out and burn out and you think, oh shit, I'm going downhill. And then you eventually burn out and end up as this guy. This is the motivation curve.
If I'm being honest, I'm probably the guy at the bottom.
For most people, and if this has ever happened to you and you lose consistency, it's because you didn't do this step right here. So step number 2 is to audit your consistency.
What?
A few years ago when I was building StudyQuest, I had this one-on-one student. I'll call him Ash. And I remember during one of our sessions, he told
Ash,
me,
catch him!
"I wish I was more consistent."
No.
So I asked him, well, how consistent are you? And he told me, I'm just not consistent. And so I said, for the next week, physically write down in a journal how many hours you study every single day. And it turns out when we met up next week that he was already studying 4 hours every single day. He was already very consistent. His problem wasn't actually consistency. He didn't need to study more. He just needed to study smarter. You need to audit how consistent you currently are so we know how far away you are from your goal. And this is really crucial for goal setting. What we're doing is establishing this gap here. How far away are you from your goal? For example, one of my goals right now is to double or triple my output for YouTube videos. We want to post 2 videos a week on Koi and at least 1 video a week on Mike and Maddie. We're also going to be helping our clients publish more videos as well.
Okay.
The problem is, getting to that outcome is not completely in my control. I have a team that's also involved. A lot of things can go wrong where that video doesn't come out on time. And so when that doesn't happen and I work really hard to get there, I might feel burnt out or feel frustrated that I'm not doing enough. But there is a way I found to change my goal to be much more consistent. I
How?
changed that goal from publishing more videos to writing 30 minutes more every single day. I switched my goal from an outcome, like a result, towards an action. I'm in full control of whether I show up to write 30 more minutes every single day. You are writing for 30 more minutes a day. You are studying 30 more minutes a day. You
Okay.
are working out for 30 more minutes a day. And that makes it so much easier to be consistent with and also prevents you from burning out. What we're trying to assess with an audit is the gap. Where are you currently at and how much more consistent do you need to be with it? So let's
I
just use that
see.
same writing example that I just talked about. Let's say that I want to write 7 days a week for 2 hours a day.
Wow.
And currently I am at 1 day a week for 1 hour a day. That is a 700%.
Yeah, I was gonna
increase in
say, that's a
consistency
big jump.
and a 200% increase in how long I write. That's a huge gap. And I guarantee you, if I try to just raw dog it, go from what I am right now to the next week doing this, we're almost guaranteed to end up like this guy again. And so
Oh.
the whole point of establishing a gap is to decide whether or not you need to set smaller milestones to reach your goal. Maybe instead of going from 1 to 7, I should just go from, 1 to 3 first and try to get there for a little bit. And then maybe from there, go from 1 to 5 and then go to 7. 1, I'm gonna be much more likely to achieve this goal. And 2, I'm probably gonna be able to sustain it for longer. Best way to become more consistent is to slowly work on the muscle of consistency.
I
If your
see.
consistency was a muscle, you don't wanna push too hard because you might injure it and then you're gonna be out for longer. What you wanna do is work slowly towards it, take some rest, keep working, and then when you get stronger, you can push further and further. And so those first 2 steps reframe how you should think about your consistency in terms of actions, and then it's help you establish how far it is to get there. Now we can move on to step 3 of being more consistent, which is clearing path.
Clearing the path.
Because no matter how clear your goal is in your mind, the reality is unexpected things pop up. And if you're not prepared to jump over those hurdles, you're gonna get stuck and eventually burn out and become this guy again.
Okay.
And so to the best of your ability, you need to clear the path. You need to make sure that as few of these occur as possible. And when they do occur, you can easily get rid of them. And there are 2 categories of things that might stand in your way. Number 1, I call things in your external environment. These are physical things in your life or around you that get in the way of you reaching your consistency goal. An easy way to think of external environment is the distractions around you. These could be the people. If your friends are constantly hitting you up to play video games when you're trying to study or I'm trying to write. I also have team members who I work with right now who are always asking me for help. So there are a lot of things that pull my ability away from staying consistent. And number 2, we have internal environment. Internal environment, I mean this guy right here,
Okay.
your mind. The person that stands in your way more than anyone else is yourself. Your mind is constantly feeding you inputs, anxiety, fear, boredom, tiredness. We have signals in our brain that distract us. The reason we get in our own head and all of these negative emotions boil up is because we don't have clarity on what we need to do. You don't know what you're trying to achieve. You don't know where you're currently at, and you don't know what's going to be in your way. And so the more clear you can make it about how you can become the person right here who's achieving their goal, the easier it is to get out of your way. When we don't know how to do something, our amygdala, the part of our brain that's responsible for fear, for stress, lights up, and it forces our brain into the state of panic. And that's when those negative emotions start to swell up, and then we get paralyzed and don't want to take action. So our whole goal with getting out of our own way is to just get crystal clear on the goal. I've achieved more thanks to this framework in the past couple of years than I did in my entire life. You know, I'm happier, I've been a better leader, and I've developed more confidence, because if you can prove to yourself that you do achieve your goals, you are more consistent, that builds the self-confidence that you need. So the next question becomes, what should you be more consistent with? Well, I may be biased, but I think one of the smartest things that you can invest your time in right now is learning how to create content on YouTube and build some kind of personal brand and self-reliance. And so if you want to learn my playbook for growing on YouTube, check out this video right here.
Well then.
It's going to give you all the details you need to get started.
Well, you heard it from him, not me. So, guess he's much more of a trusted adult, huh? Anyways, I'm gonna do it on my phone. Hopefully, no one messages me. Hold on. I can't find my notes app. Give me a sec. Someone texted me. Whole number's doxed, and there's nothing I can do about that. All right. Nope. Schedule. Wait, I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at it. I've got some bangers in here. I've got some bananas in here. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. In 4 weeks, by the way, Minecraft. Yes. 4 weeks. I do want to play another story game before that. So I'm looking around to see what's cheap and what's affordable for me to play. So far, it is looking like Watch Dogs. It is looking like Watch Dogs, I'm not gonna lie. Watch Dogs is a really good game apparently, and I thought it'd be cool to try it. So yeah. If not, then like, damn, bro, do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I feel like I should just do that, and but yeah, we'll see. I'll probably look through my list. Yes, I've got a list of games. I'm not trolling. I've got a list of games. I know you can't see, but it's a wonderful list. Wonderful little list. Wonderful little list. Alright, wonderful little list. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna call it there. I changed my mind. I'm gonna do it off stream because it's easier for me to do off stream. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope. Okay, no troll. I hope that actually helped you to figure out how to stay more consistent. We watched 2 completely different videos talking about the same thing and how they deal with consistency. Obviously, you are not them, so I don't expect you to, sit down and just go, oh, blah blah blah. Oh, this doesn't work for me. Oh, I guess consistency is not real. No, you might handle consistency differently, and you just haven't figured it out. You know what I'm saying? It could happen to anyone. It could happen to me as well. So you never really know until you try. Do you get what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? But yeah, boys and girls, boys. I will see you at 7:30 tomorrow. We've got a banger. Goodbye, of course.